welcome to PalaceFanTV. I'm Terence Ford and I'm standing for Jim Daly, who's currently gallivanting around the Edinburgh Festival. Today I'm here with Robbie from ArsenalFanTV.
Nice to be here.
And we're going to be previewing the game that's happening on Sunday on Sky. So I'm going to start with a quote from when you were talking to West Ham TV last week. Everyone that follows Arsenal is feeling confident at the moment because it really feels like a team at the moment, a real team effort. So after the hammering, excuse the pun, that you got last weekend, how are you feeling now?
What's this all about? It's like a dig, right? Listen, not as confident as I was feeling last week. That's what I'm not. It was a massive shock to the system how badly we played. I was really shocked by how badly we played. But the only consolation the only way I'm consoling myself is that we can't play that badly 2 weeks in a row. And the other thing about Arsenal is that normally after a bad loss, there's a reaction and we start to come back. So it's a really tough game. I've been really impressed by the way Palace have strengthened their team. But I'm confident. I think that those players realised last week, they were stung by what happened. So I think you're going to see a different Arsenal to what you saw last week.
Yeah, I looked it up. 92-93 was the last time you lost the first two games of the season. So that was the first Premier League season. Ooh. So you're right about getting reactions.
Yeah, we don't really lose. Not a lot of times we lose two in a row. So very rare. We got a very good record against you guys. So I don't know. I'm still upbeat, but not as confident as I was last week. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we were too. I think going into that game against West Ham, it wasn't even just the players. I think the fans, all of us, were a bit complacent. We just thought we'd turn up. It's only West Ham. We always roll them over, especially at home. And we got what we deserved because we never deserved to win that game. So
yeah, they stung us early last season as well. They beat us 3-1 early doors after we took 6 points off them the previous season. So
I mean, it's football, man. It's Premier League football.
Well, you're setting a bad record. 2005 was the last time we took a point off you. So
wow,
10 years.
Wow. But listen, I think I was there last year. And that game was a lot closer than the scoreline suggested. And I thought that, last year, Palace started really well. They kind of just run out of steam. So, I don't know, you've got a new manager now. It's your first game at home for the season. So your fans, they're good fans. They're always up for it. They're going to be really up for it. But I don't know, I've got a good feeling. I've got a good feeling about Sunday.
Well, another quote, not from you this time. You'll be
He said the guys come with all these quotes. All right, what's the next one then?
Coquelin. Was quoted this week as saying one of his dislikes of London as a whole is Selhurst Park because you can really feel the fans on top of you.
Listen, yeah.
So how are you feeling about your midfield enforcer talking like that?
No, I don't think he means it in that way. I think that's a bit lost in translation.
To be fair, he was talking about the congestion charge at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's a bit lost in translation. I think Coquelin, who didn't have a good game last week, will be up for it as well. He was a player that got a lot of criticism last week, and that's been about his first bad game because he's been playing really well and consistently well. So again, it's a kick up the arse for him to say that, listen, you've been getting a lot of praise, but now you need to deliver. And he's going to be up against Robbie and Bolasie and Zaha, Punch, and he's going to be up against very quick, smart players. So he's going to have to be. He's going to have to be on it.
Last week, I thought Dimitri Payet had a really good game for West Ham, and he's quick and skillful. And with you're going to get three Palace players like that. So how do you reckon?
Three Dimitri Payet.
Well, in Zaha, Punch, and Bolasie, you've got arguably more established Premier League players there as well. How do you think the midfield as a whole will handle that?
I think we'll be all right. You know what? I'll tell you what it is with Arsenal. Yeah, sometimes I feel when teams like Palace play against us that attack, it kind of suits us more because we attack. So if we win the ball back, we can attack you just as much as you can attack us. It's sometimes when we come up against teams that are not really trying to win the game, they're just sitting back and they're just purely playing on the counter. It could be really interesting to see what Pardew's tactics are because he's tried to play us before and play us on the counter, strictly on the counter, and got done. Will he be brave enough to go for it with the players you've got? You've named three really attacking players there, but I don't know. I don't mind that. I don't mind when teams come to attack us because I think we're pretty good on the attack.
Well, that's for us. With the amount of away wins we've had under Pardew has been amazing in terms of just sitting and hitting teams on the counter. And a lot of Palace fans are thinking that we'll play that way at home on Saturday and allow Arsenal to come onto us and hit on the counter. So
maybe you might get a referee like last week as well. who basically, let's have it right, robbed Norwich. Right, great win for Pardew, but honestly, that was one of the biggest travesties in justice.
I mean, the
overhead kick and the penalty.
Yep.
You could have been leaving that game with no points. So again, that's what I'm saying. I'm not, well done to Palace last week, great result, but you are very, very fortunate.
Yeah, I've definitely kept myself grounded. I feel what was funny about watching that game was we're used to being Norwich in that scenario, but now it feels maybe this is the first sign that we're an established Premier League side that they're actually, the referee decisions have gone our way and not
decisions were shocking.
You can't disallow goals like that. You can't disallow goals like Cameron.
No, it was shocking, and so I think you got away with one last week. Much as it was a great away win. But you really, on another day it could have been 3-2 because to me both decisions were absolutely nailed on. So
you got right to luck. I'm a big admirer.
I don't always get that luck.
Of course not. I'm a big admirer of Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I think this year is going to be the year that he kicks on towards that world-class bracket. I've said this at the beginning of last season. I think he's got a couple more seasons. How do you feel about Oxlade?
He's a fantastic player. One of my favourite players at Arsenal. However, right, he does need to learn. And when you give the ball away, first of all, don't give the ball away as much, and get back. And he's been caught napping last week. He was caught napping, cost us a goal. And I remember last season against Monaco, the classic one where he gave the ball away for them to go on and get the goal that in the end ended up knocking us out. So he does need to learn from those things. But certainly getting the ball, running at players, he reminds me. Well, you've got a couple of players like that in Zaha and Bolasie. He as well is just like that. He's very quick, very tricky, and he's got end product. So if he gets going tomorrow, I don't know if he'll start though, because Alexis should be back. So I'm not sure if he'll start or if they'll use him as a weapon off the bench. I don't know, but whichever way, he's quality.
Well, he got a couple of goals against us a couple of seasons ago in the Emirates. Squad depth. A lot of Arsenal fans have been thinking that your squad depth's all right this season, but as an outsider, I still feel that you look a little bit light up front. There's been lots of talk about Benzema and people like that. I mean, I'm assuming you'd be running around naked if you signed Benzema.
Well, no, not quite.
But do you think you need another striker, or do you think Giroud's
Yeah, we do. We need another striker. I like Giroud. I think, especially away from home, he can be. He scored against you guys last year. He can be a very good striker, particularly away from home in holding the ball up, etc. But I still think you need a step up from him as well. Like if we're going to really win things, Benzema would be brilliant to bring in. And I just look on it and think to myself, if we were going to Palace tomorrow and the front three was, say, Walcott on the right, Benzema in the middle, and Alexis Sanchez with Ozil and Cazorla behind them, that's very frightening. And then you've got Ramsey and people like. So I just think that we don't need much, but if we could get that world-class striker, but it's a lot of ifs. Are Real Madrid going to be willing to sell him? That is the problem. My understanding is that he would love. My understanding is that he doesn't want to leave Madrid, but if he does leave Madrid, he will definitely come to Arsenal. So I think it's one of them we're going to have to wait and see.
It's an interesting one to watch. I'm always up for big name players when it comes to the Premier League because they're good to watch. So yeah. And finally, talking of big transfers, do you think Alan Pardew's mad when he says 25 million for Yannick Bolasie?
I think Alan Pardew's mad before he says anything about Bolasie. I think you never know what he's going to do. He might grab someone around the neck, headbutt someone. You don't know. You know what? I'm a massive fan of Bolasie. I'm a massive fan. I really, really like him. I think, you guys watch him every week, and it's interesting that before we started off camera, we were talking about him. He's saying that he doesn't do it week in, week out. So for me, that must be the only reason why bigger clubs haven't come in for him. Because from what I've seen, when I've seen him play, sometimes the guy's unplayable. He's quick, direct. Me personally, I'm a great fan of players who run at defences, and that's what he does. And I really, really like him. And if you start to look at the prices that some players are being sold for at the moment,
maybe not that.
Maybe it's not that crazy. Maybe Pardee's not that mad after all. Yeah.
Well, I think
maybe not 25, but I'd certainly say, you know, I mean, he's got to be pushing up towards the 20. If John Stones is worth 34 million, well, why not?
Yeah, I think it's with Bolasie. It went down. It's come down from 1 in 8 games that he used to do, and now he's getting to the 1 in 4, 1 in 5.
I hope one of those ain't on Sunday. You know what I mean?
What are you saying? It's on TV. You might want to do it with the cameras.
It's the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th or the 6th, but not the 8th.
Right.
Yeah, so
we've finished with some predictions.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon?
Oh man, I did last week. I was 2-0. I said and bloody West Ham went and got 2-0. I'm scared now. Predictions. I'm going to go the same. I think it was 2-1 last year to us.
2-1, yeah.
I'm going to go that again.
Okay. You're going to think that I'm mad that Pardee's been infecting me being around the place, but I'm going 3-1 Palace.
3-1?
I think it's going to be a counter-attacking display.
Wow.
With a bit
3-1.
of Zaha and Bolasie putting it on.
I reckon if you get the same ref you had last week, maybe. But without that ref, there ain't no chance of 3-1. I'm sorry. I'd have a bit of that. 3-1.
Well, I'll talk to you after the game.
Yeah,
you can tell me then.
That's what the West Ham guys said. Oh no.
All right. Thanks for talking to me.
Pleasure.
I'll speak to you soon. Everybody, Robbie from ArsenalFanTV. Go to his channel, give it a like, subscribe on YouTube, isn't it? Subscribe. And there will be a link in the description below. So thanks for watching, guys.